Okay.
Cooper was weird. You thought Alice Cooper was out at the edge. Wait till you see this man. Marilyn Manson, 28 years old. His name is an amalgam of Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, the two great opposites you see.
The two great opposites you see. Yeah, I think this is New Zealand. And hopefully you can hear this one. I'm trying to have some fun, talk about music, talk about artists. So this guy's definitely like a straight edge guy. I can't tell if he's trying to be ironic or sarcastic.
Alice Cooper was weird. You thought Alice Cooper was out at the edge. Wait till you see this man. Marilyn Manson, 28 years old. His name is an amalgam of Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, the two great opposites you see. His band members are named after serial killers. In the United States Senate, they're trying to have him banned. They're so disturbed by him. Young people flock to see him all around.
I know people have seen Marilyn Manson. I think I've seen him maybe twice. My memory's shot these days, but there were people outside and they had crosses and chanting and, oh, we're praying for everybody in the arena. The place was packed. But yeah, he's right. I think back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Manson was so vitriolic, well, in the eyes of those type of people that they believed, oh, Antichrist Superstar. Oh my God, he is the Antichrist. It's an act. Dude, it is a musical act, just like a lot of other artists that are shock rockers.
World. He's a shock rocker.
See?
He calls himself the Antichrist Superstar. He invites the audience to spit on him, or has done in the past. There's chickens and blood everywhere on the stage. Marilyn Manson had a very interesting upbringing, very religious upbringing. He went to a Christian school. He got beaten up in the neighbourhood for going there. Then he went to a normal school, which he wanted, and then he got hell in the neighbourhood for having gone to the Bible school. The Christian imagery...
Imagine that. Okay, I did hear about that his father's like a pastor. I think in an interview he said, what does your father feel about the music you play or whatever? And he's like, they didn't like it at first, but after they came around to it and they were like, you know, if that's what you want to do, because they realize, I mean, they're the parents of a guy. He probably told them like, Mom, Dad, right? This is an act, okay? This is just what I do. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Well, then again, he may be crazy. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Says gave him nightmares as a child. He describes his childhood as one of isolation and fear. And I met him today at an old graveyard.
Met him in a graveyard. No, that, like I said, that definitely is something that you'd play up. Oh, I'm going to meet Marilyn Manson in a graveyard for an interview, right? I'll give him credit for a straight edge type of reporter like this guy seems to be, to meet a guy like Manson. To me, he just looks like a weirdo.
Come and take a seat down here, Marilyn. This is a very nice cemetery, very old cemetery. We thought you'd be happy in a cemetery.
Reminds me of New Orleans.
The cemetery.
This past summer, yeah.
The cemetery. Now, Manson looks like a dude I used to hang out with. He was tall, lanky, he had tons of tattoos. His complexion was white, but basically he had white skin like that, pasty white looking like that, almost like a dead person, right? And there was a lot of goth kids that I knew over the years that, you know, they were just normal kids. They were misunderstood, and that's the way people dress the way they want to dress.
That's right, and you dug up, you went robbing graves there. Did you rob graves there?
Oh, we didn't rob them. See, in New Orleans, the ground is very deteriorated, so you just find bones sticking out of it. So we just plucked them.
No, the thing is, because of the hurricane that happened there in the early 90s, I wouldn't doubt if there was some cemeteries where the bodies did come up. But again, I don't think he really did that. I doubt he hung out in any cemeteries that you could pluck, you know, like bones out. But then again, as a kid, me and a group of our friends, we used to go to a cemetery, this old ass cemetery on a hill. It's probably still there. It was like a big ass pavilion made out of stone. We never went in the cemetery to break anything.
So we didn't actually rob them.
So should mums and dads be worried about you?
I think the best thing that could happen is if parents are afraid of me, they will take more time to raise their children to be more intelligent so that they can decide whether or not and how music, art, and film is going to affect their lives. Parents are afraid of losing.
Now, did you see the look on the guy's face? He was taken aback. Okay, that was a good answer. That was a good answer because it was really intelligent. Basically saying that, listen, if you're afraid of me or anybody like me, the best thing that parents can do is to watch what your kids are doing, especially nowadays online. There are some people out there that take advantage of kids. An entertainer like Marilyn Manson, obviously, if you don't want your kids to listen to that type of music or any kind of music that you think is over the edge, over the top, out of their mind, whatever, it's up to the parent to be there. That's a good answer.
Take more time to raise their children to be more intelligent so that they can decide whether or not and how music, art, and film is going to affect their lives.
That look, he goes, I did not expect that. It's possible this guy does interview a lot of different people that are considered rock stars or even movie stars that come to their country, and he probably meets some real douchebags, right? But it was obviously a stunt to bring Marilyn Manson to a graveyard, especially the height of around the time Antichrist Superstar came out, right? Just came out in 98.
Parents are afraid of losing their youth, and there's a bit of a jealousy sometimes when they see their kids identifying with something that they can no longer relate to.
What do your mum and dad think of this?
They're big fans now. I don't think they always were.
Okay, I've heard that before. And he said that his father, he was like, I don't understand this type of music you want to play or whatever, why you look this way.
They see that I enjoy what I do. That I think that's what they want more than anything.
You would have struck some controversy with the name Manson, in the States particularly?
Well, one of the points of the name was to almost a mockery of controversy, a mockery of the phoniness of show business, you know. But I thought it was interesting to...
Oh my God, after the shit with Epstein, thinking about that, the mockery of show business, the mockery of everything that's going on these days, the mockery of Hollywood in general, or even the music business. There are so many people that prey on artists, and there's some fucked up shit's been going on. Hollywood and elites in general, right?
take those two because of their history and popular culture, how America has put them on the same status. They're equally memorable, you know, for their own separate reasons.
I want to go back a little bit. I want to hear the whole question answer. I was yapping in between it. My bad.
In the States particularly?
Well, one of the points of the name was to almost a mockery of controversy, a mockery of the phoniness of show business, you know. But I thought it was interesting to take those two because of their history and popular culture, how America has put them on the same status. They're equally memorable, you know, for their own separate reasons.
But in that too, on those two names, there's also that opposites.
It's not really opposites. If you think about it, Marilyn Monroe had an affair with a married man that just happened to be the president of the United States. And that was scandalous in her time. And of course, you had Charles Manson, on the other hand, that technically didn't harm anybody, supposedly, but he had other people do it for him because he had like a cult. So in their own right, they have similarities in ways. I'm not going to say they're both as bad as each other, but the point is, what's the word I'm looking for here? Everybody has bad in them, right? But to say that Marilyn Monroe was some kind of angel, I wouldn't say that. So for him to pick those two names is kind of interesting.
Constantly talking about.
Yes.
All right.
So it was a perfect metaphor for me.
Yeah. It scares the heebie-jeebies out of the middle classes too, doesn't it? Out of the Bible group too, I would imagine. Manson.
Yeah, it seems like the people who are open-minded enough to understand, you know, will find something enjoyable out of what I do, whether it's entertainment or whether it's something to believe in or whether it's something to tap your foot to. And the other people who aren't open-minded enough, I guess, really deserve to be scared, because the fear is what's, keeping them from understanding it. Fear themselves, usually.
Now, that was a good answer, too. I don't know if it was a scripted answer or what. Okay, this was
Now, what about the other business
97.
too? I understand there's a bit of the other business on the stage, the sick.
The six. Is that what he said? The six. This was 97. Holy shit. Wow. So I was wrong. 97. So when did that album come out? My cousin, he's older than me. He's not here anymore. RIP. They had a midnight madness sale at a local music store where he lived at the time. And they were open up until 2 o'clock in the morning, selling the Antichrist Superstar when it first came out on CD. I thought it was in 98.
Do you have sex on stage?
Not on a regular basis. There was one occasion that the media likes to, continually
They all mention it.
gravitate towards. Yeah. Well, it's something exciting to mention for them. That's the extent of the sex. I mean, the show has a lot of sexual overtone.
Wait. There was an interview that I read, and there was a magazine that I read, but it had Manson in there talking about Trent Reznor. This was when they had their beef or whatever. Trent had already helped engineer and produce a couple of Marilyn's albums, right? And somebody asked Marilyn Manson, do you think Trent Reznor should be in the Rock Hall of Fame or will be in the Rock Hall of Fame? And Manson said something like, the only way Trent Reznor is going to make it into the Rock Hall of Fame is if they make a statue of me and him sucking my dick. Now, I don't know how much sex he's had on stage, but I think that's something that the media probably heard about and ran with, but I don't know when he said this. So, I don't know. I have no idea. But it was just something that popped in my mind.
And I rarely perform in much clothing, but I don't necessarily have sex on stage. But I'm open to
The look on this dude's face, he's just like thinking about the sex on stage, and then he's like, but I'm open to it, and he's like, that look, gotta see that look again. This dude, he doesn't know what to think, because he's kind of like smiling like, hee.
But
And he's like, and the guy's like, but the what?
I don't necessarily have sex on stage.
Dude.
But I'm open to suggestions if you're willing to come on stage and do some sort of duet.
Personally, no. I would find it, I don't think I could perform in that kind of arena. I don't think so. It's too public. Is this all a game, do you think?
There's the question right there. Is this all a game? Of course, it's not a game, but it is an act. He is an entertainer, okay? Marilyn Manson isn't the Antichrist that I know of. Marilyn Manson isn't some kind of fucking demon in a human form. Marilyn Manson is a creator. He came up with a character. I don't even know the guy's name. That's how good of a character he made. And he's been doing it for so long. I did hear that him and, what was the other guy? Twiggy? Whatever. The bass player and the guitar player played on the album as the lead guitarist and bass player. But they were together for years. And I heard that when they first started out, I think they started out in Florida somewhere. I heard that when they played out, they had a drum machine, and it was just him and what's his name, Twiggy,